Hello, and welcome back to my single-player Create world. In the last episode, we got a lot of lava, and in today's episode, we're gonna put that lava to good use, because we're gonna build a lot of steam engines. So we're back here in Sector 1, because that's the place that needs steam engines the most, I would say. Actually, it's the place that needs the most work, honestly. We haven't been here in a while, so we're gonna improve this place. But before we can do any of that, we are gonna have to make a little building. Ignore the scaffolding. We're gonna have to make a little building to house our lava, or to store our lava. You don't house lava, do you? That wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Anyway, yeah. Lava's right now dug, like halfway dug, inside of a cliff. Not ideal conditions for lava storage, I think. So yeah, let's give it a little house. And yeah, it's gonna be right there. This very subtly placed scaffolding is just here to take measurements. Anyway, let's remove that and start building. Perfect, or well, almost perfect. There's a slight little issue with that building, and I don't know if you've noticed it during the time lapse or if you're noticing it right now. It's gonna be a bit easier to see from here, maybe? Yeah, I kind of messed up the scale of the building, especially like for something that's put so close to the one that we already have here. Yeah, it's quite small, so I'm gonna have to make it bigger, but that's a problem for future aubni, because present aubni designed that building and built that building, and it's gonna stay here for today. Let's head inside to see what's inside of there. So it's gonna have two uses. So, well, first of all, here there's gonna be a vault. It's gonna be what's connected to the other sectors, like when the trains are gonna come and drop some stuff off. It's gonna be collected here. And the second part is, of course, the lava, so we moved the tank from the outside in here and connected it back to the spot where the train's gonna stop for its deliveries. So now what we need to do is make a bunch of steam engines to power this whole thing. And that's gonna be our steam engine setup, and I had to build the entire thing off camera because I haven't built one of those in a while, and there was a lot of stuff to figure out. But for one of those, what you need is a boiler, which is basically just a tank, a heat source, which in this case is a blaze burner. That's usually what people use, and in this case I just needed one, so that's great. And some water, so that's why we have this pump. It's pulling water from this infinite water source and it's sending it into the boiler, which is currently on idle, so it's not working at all because it's got no water. The pump's not working, so that's why we got this little hand crank. So if I start spinning it, you'll see it's grabbing water and it's sending it into the boiler, and if I stop spinning it, there we go, it's going by itself. It's now on passive because it's just using the passive heat of the blaze burner, but that's still enough to activate this engine, which powers the pump, so it's self-sustaining even in passive mode. But eventually we're gonna need it to generate a bit more power, so we can't stay in passive forever. But we have a little system here that's kind of the secondary systems. If I flick this lever, everything here is gonna start, so it's starting this mechanical arm, which is quite slow right now, but I'm gonna grab a bucket of lava. It's gonna... Why are you doing that? Not what you should be doing. There we go. So now it fed the lava to the blaze burner, that's great. Putting the bucket back here, and it's getting filled with that spout, so this entire side of the machine is activating the mechanical arm as well as this pump for the spout and this other pump that's bringing lava into the tank. So yeah, we don't need those things activated when we're starting the machine. So that's why they're on this secondary part that we can turn off if we want. But now we're generating a lot more energy than we actually need, so let's use that excess energy to send some lava everywhere else around this sector, which for the moment is just across the track, but you know, we need lava over there. So I added this engine here, which powers this pump over here, which I know is not actually being powered right now, because there's a clutch. I tend to put clutches everywhere just to always power the bare minimum. It's just something I do. But yeah, once the pump is actually running, it's gonna pull some lava from this tank and push it into this pipe, going across the gap here and towards the other building. So that's kind of the feel that I'm gonna go for this place. I'm gonna have pipes running around the place and connecting all the buildings together. I think it's gonna look very, very cool. Kind of like some big orange electric wires running overhead. But you might notice there are two problems with that plan. The first one is that this pipe is kind of ugly like that, so we're gonna need to add some bends here and there and just make it look a bit more dynamic, because right now it's pretty boring. And the other problem is that this pipe is quite long and the pump isn't strong enough to push lava across the entire place, so we're gonna need to put some more pumps here and there and to power them. So we're gonna have to find a way to run shafts and cogwheels and all of that along this pipe. And just like that, I think that works. It's all bendy and crooked, and yeah, I like it. It looks really cool, and we were able to power the entire length of that pipe. We had to make it look a bit more sturdy and supported, and I think that bit might be a bit too big. Though it might be, like, it looks big compared to that tiny, stupid little building here, so when we redo that one and, you know, bring it to a proper scale, maybe it won't look too bad. But anyway, yeah. We got pumps pumping lava all the way into that other building, so we can actually start it. And it is sending the lava. We can see it. There's particles everywhere, and it's sending it inside of here into this tank here. What a timing! We arrived right when it started pouring in. So that means that in this room or in this factory we can put a new steam engine, a second one. That is great. We're going to be able to power all of our machines. Just a little problem though. We're gonna need to remove that one machine here because, well, that, in case you didn't know, that's a train track machine, and we built it when we needed a lot of train tracks, but we don't really need a lot of train tracks anymore, and eventually we're gonna do something better, but not in this factory, so let's just tear this whole thing down. It served us well, but its time has come, sadly. And just like that, it's gone. But we have a super cool new steam engine for this factory, so it works with the same basic principle as the other one. We have this hand crank to manually start the pump, and when it's going, perfect, it's running by itself. We can flick this lever, which starts the system to send lava to the blaze burners. But we have, wait, that's not going the right way. We'll figure that out later. I was talking about the lack of mechanical arms here. We don't have a mechanical arm to feed the lava to these blaze burners, so I'm gonna have to do it manually for now. And the reason why we don't have a mechanical arm is that we don't have any more precision mechanisms, and I don't want to do any of that stuff by myself. Instead, I'm gonna make a machine do that for me. So that's what this factory is gonna be about, precision mechanisms and all the other stuff that's kind of tedious to make by hand. So like electron tubes, that's a big one, very annoying to make. So yeah, let's start building some cool machines. And just like that, we have 3 very cool new machines. So we're gonna start with this one in the back. That's where we make electron tubes. It's pretty simple. We just put iron ingots in this chest, and they get sent one by one to be smashed into iron sheets. And then they get sent into this crafter, get combined with some rose quartz to make electron tubes. So the rose quartz, like the polished and non-polished versions, we're keeping a good stock of that stuff because it has other uses, and instead of just, you know, making another farm just to get that, I think it would be pointless. So yeah, we're just keeping some of it in the chest. So here it's just backing up because it can only be sent one at a time into the crafter. And here we're using a threshold switch, so either way it works. We're keeping some of it, and the non-polished version is getting crafted here. So that's where we put the quartz and the redstone dust, and yeah, it gets sent here. We craft rose quartz, send it here, and here it gets sanded and turned into the polished version. And that last bit at the end here, that's where we make our sandpaper. So whenever this thing is running out of sandpaper, which is happening very, very often because it only has 8 uses. But anyway, yeah, every time it runs out, it sends a signal and it crafts a new little bit of sandpaper instead of just stockpiling the stuff. I just think it's cooler to have that piece of the machine constantly running. It's just more fun to look at, basically. So yeah, that's how we make electron tubes. Now, this one here is for precision mechanisms. So same principle, we just put as many gold ingots as we want precision mechanisms. They get flattened into sheets. And now they go through this loop where they get applied cogwheels, large cogwheels, and iron nuggets. I always forget what's in there. And then they go back, they get pulled into this funnel here, and they get sent back there. And they go through the loop. They have to go 5 times through that loop. And there's a chance when it's done that it will turn into a precision mechanism. So just like that, it will not get pulled by that funnel, so it's gonna go through and end up here. But there's also a chance that we will get some other stuff just like that, so this stuff will just stay in that barrel so we can collect it and do whatever we want to do with it afterwards. And finally, this last one here, this last machine is for casings. So we have a lot of wood in this chest, and if we put whatever metal we want to make casing out of in this barrel here, they will get sent one by one into this ejector, which will shoot them into this deployer. And every time the ejector gets powered, or every time it launches, it will send one single piece of wood, so that way we don't have anything backing up on the belt. We just have the exact amount that we need, and everything ends up in this barrel here. Perfect, just like we want. So that's 3 very cool machines done. But this place still feels kind of empty, especially, you know, in the higher parts of the place. Especially considering that the main door is on the hypothetical 2nd floor and we can only get there via scaffolding, which is stupid because it's been there for like 6 months. So yeah, I'm just gonna build a 2nd floor, and there's just a few little more things that I want to build in here. So let's do some decorating first. And just like that, this little factory that we've had for a little while now, it has a proper entrance. So if we head inside, that's the 2nd floor. I had to put in a balcony, of course, to look down at the machines while they're running. It looks so cool. It would have been so silly to cover it all up. So yeah, had to put that, but I wasn't too sure what to put on this 2nd floor, so I made this little press machine. Sometimes we just need to make a lot of sheets, and yeah, these barrels are just gonna make things a bit more convenient. And I also had to put a mechanical crafter. Actually, I wasn't too sure where to put my mechanical crafter, so I put it here, and we have this little balcony staircase thingy to give us an easy access to the top row, even though I think they're still accessible from the floor, but it looks cooler with that. Just roll with it, please. And we have this cool little display screen back there, which shows us everything that is stored inside of this vault down there. So we have all the items that we are gonna need for the machines that we've built today. They're all stored in that vault. And yeah, vaults are kind of notoriously bad at telling you how much stuff there is in them, since you can't actually open their inventory. So yeah, having this screen, it really helps, you know, knowing what we're short on and what we need to bring next time and all of that. And on that note, that's gonna be it for today's episode, because I really have to go and install those rotation speed controllers that I was able to build with today's machine. I gotta go install them in all my other sectors. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.